It's hard to disrespect God.
Right here, sir. Raise your right hand, please. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help
Yes.
you God. Please be seated. Would you take your name for the record, please?
David Burgess.
Ms. Burnett.
Burgess.
That's me, I'm Miss Burnett.
Oh, I'm sorry. My hearing's not as good as it used to be.
I'll be asking questions first, and then other people will have a chance to ask questions. Mr. Burgess, what's your occupation?
I'm disabled.
Disabled, okay. And do you know everybody here today?
Most.
Most of them, do you know these people over here?
Diane and David, yes.
Diane, how do you know Diane and David?
Well, I've known Diane for a long time while she was married to Mike Neighbors and ran the Pay Lake, done computer work for him, auto repairs, things of that nature.
Okay, so you're like a family friend? Is that your occupation?
It's a long time acquaintance, over 20 years, so.
Okay, and right now, your association with this family is a supervisor, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
State approved me.
And tell me about that role that you have. What do you do?
My job is to supervise the visitations, observe and report, as it were, anything that could potentially go wrong, you know, abuse, neglect. It's kind of hard to say, but basically make sure the train stays on the tracks.
Okay, do you have to watch mom and dad within sight and sound with their children?
Do I have to? I don't feel like I have to, but I usually do.
And do you always do that?
A rule of thumb, if I can't see them, I can hear them.
Okay, all right. And do you have to write reports?
Yes,
And have you done so?
yes.
When was the last time you wrote a report?
Oh, I don't know. Honestly, I can't remember.
You do this weekly?
Yes, as a rule of thumb.
And where do the visits take place?
Usually at Chris and Elizabeth's home.
Okay.
Unless we go to the playground or the park or to Walmart for clothes or things of that nature.
Do children feel comfortable with mom and dad, you think?
Absolutely,
So they know who mom and dad are?
absolutely.
Okay. Are they excited when they see them?
I wouldn't say excited, I would say ecstatic.
Okay. All right. Are they bonded to mom and dad?
Very much so.
Have you witnessed anything concerning from mom and dad?
I think it needs some clarification.
Anything that you would write in your report negative, or anything that you would need to tell somebody that, you know, may need to be worked on, or?
Maybe this is just my opinion, but when I involved myself in the situation, my idea was to remain objective completely and fully. And I think the judge had asked me one time, well, you almost finished this report, but you didn't state what you might say. And I think on recollection, I would say to date that should I have seen anything objectionable at all as a parent that would have raised question in my mind, visit's over. Things are done. We ain't going down that road, and it just never happened. After 13 months of providing supervision for these children, I've seen absolutely no reason why they can't be with their mom and dad.
And you're a parent yourself, you said?
Pardon?
Parent?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you in the car with them when they do transport?
Absolutely.
When the visits were at the cabinet before you, there was some problems or some allegations that Dad was kind of acting acting inappropriate, he would get loud or, kind of inappropriate and boisterous. Have you seen anything like that?
Chris has got a loud voice, I believe, to my knowledge. He mentioned something about having voice cancer, but I know he's got some kind of disability with his speech. He's just naturally loud.
Yelling at the kids or, getting angry and throwing things, anything like that?
I'm sorry, I can't testify to that. If I see it, I say it.
You see it?
Nothing that would endanger his children.
If you-
As a parent, he's gotten frustrated before. I've seen that, but he manages it very well.
What does he do when he gets frustrated?
Usually it's a walk to the store, get a soda pop or something like that. I wouldn't say he totally dismisses it, but a lot of times there's a verbal understanding between himself and his children that we just don't do things like this. We don't hit brother. Y'all need to learn to play together. I would call it a verbal redirect, and that usually helps a lot.
What about mom? Anything about mom that you want to report?
As in,
Is she protective?
well, yeah, very much so. I mean, I've walked to the store with him, which is less than 100 yards away, and it's always hold my hand, don't get in the parking lot. We got to watch for cars, and I would say a motherly relationship, and plenty of caution. Maybe not excessive, but adequate for sure.
And have you seen the parents bring things with them to the visits?
Oh, absolutely. They always have like diapers and clothes and snacks and treats and, things. It's not really but like a 10-minute ride back to their house. But it's short of a stop to go to the bathroom, which usually doesn't happen, but 10 minutes is, by the time you get them out of the car anywhere and get them to a public restroom, it's going to take that long. So, and that's never been an issue, to be quite honest.
So they bring diapers, clothes. You seen them bring clothes?
Yes, absolutely. A change of clothes for both children.
Okay, but I'm talking about things that the children go home.
Oh, absolutely. Shoes, socks, clothes, shirts, pants, school supplies, things of that nature. Toys, they're their children. I think they want them to have the best.
Did you know Chris before you had to start supervising? How well did you know Chris?
I've known him for quite some time. He'd worked with me on different projects or odds and ends jobs, as it were, and has for a number of years. We fixed four-wheelers and lawnmowers and tractors and cars. And matter of fact, I still own a truck that he helped me put the transmission in, and I think he's lasted longer than the transmission.
Does he volunteer with you
Yeah,
and Tim?
quite frequently. A lot of times I think the therapy does him good. I don't really, with him, it's not always the money, but the learning experience. And I think he looks forward to it. That'd be something you could probably ask him about more than me, but I appreciate his company, and he's a benefit to me.
Yeah. I'm specifically talking about the Methodist Church. Are you the one that he goes to with that?
I'm not sure that I am with that.
Oh, okay.
I provide community service for all types of people. I'm on a group on the online where people that are disabled, or I won't say homeless, but veterans and other people with inabilities or disabilities need things done or want to help but aren't actually able to work a 40-hour-a-week job. And whenever I pick up on those situations, I try to give those people a little money for going with me and helping me do whatever needs to be done.
Okay. So Chris helps you with that?
Yeah.
Not necessarily through a program or anything?
No, not necessarily. Well, to him it might be a program because I think he's always looked up to me, but it's always a matter of living and learning and helping other people.
How do you think his sobriety is going? Knowing him before and knowing him now, how do you think his sobriety is going?
I don't know that you'd call it sobriety, but he's definitely a different person since he stopped smoking. I'm glad he did that, but as far as I can tell, and not that it's any of my business, but he's always smiling, well, I gotta do my test today, and I'm like, well, don't that worry you? No, doesn't bother me. And he does them at will, on call. I have no idea about all that. That's one of the areas that I don't really discuss with him, but I do try to support him emotionally with regards to what he's doing. Because I know that that's a bridge that needs to be hurdled. And what he did in his, honestly, as a previous guest of the state, I understand that you need support on the outside. I'm not here to take advantage of anybody, but a lot of times that emotional support goes farther than a dollar. And I try to help him with respect to that.
So you were approved supervisor from the cabinet?
Absolutely.
That's all the questions I had.
Ms. Sykes?
Sir, if a person used methamphetamine to the extent that the child tested positive for methamphetamine, what would your opinion be of that person?
I'm not sure. When I say that, mistakes are made all the time. Actually, that was done with me while I was on probation, and I freely and willingly went straight back to my probation officer. I acquired 3 of my own test results, and all of them were negative, and tested again before I left. And the man's name is Mr. Vic Griffiths out of the Elizabethtown office. And he said, we're tearing this page completely out of the book. It's going in the garbage. That way it never even existed. So yes, sir, mistakes are made. Pardon me?
I don't have anything further to say.
You didn't have any more questions for me, sir.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Madigan, you have any questions?
Mr. Burgess, did you see anything out of the parents that concerned you negatively about their parenting skills?
The only thing I saw that really concerned me is their enthusiasm at the opportunity to regain custody of their children.
And do you know, have you had any dealings with the Butlers?
Not really.
I mean, you don't know whether they're good parents or bad parents or fit parents or taking good care of these children. You don't know any of that stuff.
I've been there. We were going to do one of the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday visits, and there was a sense of hostility over the visit being done on location because of time concerns, but it wasn't on Chris and Elizabeth. Actually, it was on David Butler, and it was enough to make me want to leave.
So you're saying something about that concerned you and you thought it was Mr. Butler's fault?
I'm not here to assign fault to anybody. I just know that it might have been a bad time for him, and if the timing had been available, I'm sure that we would have done the normal 10-minute transfer to the house, 10-minute visit, and 10 minutes back.
No further questions.
Anyone else? So you are convicted felon, sir?
Pardon me?
You are convicted felon?
Yes, sir. Got my pardon from Mr. Matt Bevan.
So, okay, you've been pardoned. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fair enough. No one else has any questions? Sir, you may step aside.
Wasn't on.
Any closing comments?
Your Honor, I just want, before we get started, I personally would maybe like some additional time to give this a little thought. There are certain things about this case that concern me. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know.
I'll give you 20 days, all of you, to file simultaneous proposed findings. That work? That work? Good enough? 20 days today to file proposed findings?
When is it?
Your option.
May 17th.
Well, today is the 20th, so 11 more days in March, and nowadays,
The ninth of April.
9th of April, and what's within April 9th.
Sunday.
Today's
That is the day after spring break, so.
Yeah,
Can we go a little bit further?
yeah, everybody enjoy their spring break.
I mean, I can't afford during spring break, so.
I mean, I don't care if.
How about just making it 30 days instead of 20, and then that way
Yeah,
that'll.
that'll work. How do you get 30 days? I'll propose 90.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court's adjourned.
Just that easy. They don't want to hear what I got to say anyway. I don't know why they asked me. Yeah.